What's up, guys? It's Rob Anderson with DollarMoves. I'd like to welcome you to another video. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about Amazon and some things that I've been noticing and what I see being the best going forward when selling on Amazon. So I want to talk about a few of the different ways that you can sell. And what really got me thinking about all this is that this last year, I slipped off of Amazon some so that I could really, I got focused into the real estate with my brother, and then also I wrote 2 books with my niece to help her on her mission to help rescue animals and shelter animals and bring animal adoption to the forefront of other people. And she's 10 years old. So that's been really, really cool, a passion project of mine as well. And so that's been going really great. But so there's been a lot of time where I haven't been on Amazon, and then I get back on Amazon and I see things, I go, oh, wow, this is new. So I want to talk about Q4. Well, first, let's talk about, no, we'll talk about Q4. So with Q4 this year, some of the things that I thought was interesting as far as retail arbitrage, which means, going to the different stores and purchasing products that I could resell on Amazon. I noticed that this year, now I've been selling since 2011. So this is my 7th year, my 7th Q4 on Amazon. And this year was really interesting. So I went out and I purchased some. First off, it was really strange to not have Toys R Us this year as an option at all, right? Like, that was a big thing for me, was doing the Toys R Us, the toys every year through that. And so to not have that in my tool belt, toolbox, whatever, it was really, it was an interesting thing and kind of a bummer too. Like, watching all of these retail stores die away has been quite a bummer. But so I went out and I did my sourcing and I did the stuff, and I'm getting, products to resell, and I get them home and I list them all up, and I found that I should have been watching my, the products closer. I should have been double checking that I could sell the brands that I had, because I was finding there was quite a few brands that I had sold forever, like through all the time, through last year, all the time. And this year I wasn't able to sell quite a few. And so I had to put a lot onto eBay. And so luckily I have Joe Lister, which will grab all of my Amazon listings and just put them on eBay for me. So I actually sold quite a bit more on eBay than probably I ever have before because of Joe Lister. It made it super easy. And if you're interested in Joe Lister, you can try it free. If you go to dollarmoves.com/Joe Lister, you can check that out there, but super easy. And I'm so glad, because this year a lot of stuff I was not able to list. Not like a huge amount, but I'm used to being able to seeing 1 or 2 things out of a shopping trip, maybe, like, slip through the cracks. And this time it was quite a bit more than I was expecting. So as far as retail arbitrage goes, going into the future with Amazon and everything, I think that, really, if you're a seller on Amazon, there's always going to be retail arbitrage as far as if you're selling things that are, that are geographically local to you, that maybe, you have a certain kind of syrup that's only made where you live, or, there's a certain place that they, there's certain things where you can only buy in your location, right? Like, those kinds of things will always be there. There'll always be, there'll always be some sort of retail arbitrage, but I see it getting harder and harder. And I also see all these stores going away. Like, the ability to find the stuff is getting smaller and smaller. And you really lack control in retail arbitrage. But like I said, it's not like it to be a bummer, but it's like just looking at this like a business, right? Like, retail arbitrage is getting harder and harder. There's getting less and less places to do it. And you can scale to some degree. I know people that are scaling, they are crushing retail arbitrage. That's what I'm saying. It's always going to be there. There's always going to be the people that have it and that can figure it out. And those people are going to thrive at whatever they do. But for most people, it's going to keep getting harder and harder. And it's one of those things that, like, there's going to be less and less places unless you know what to look. Another great way is to do liquidation. If you can stomach the idea of, possibly getting asked for invoices, because if that happens on a liquidation, it's going to be pretty tough to prove that you purchase them at a place. So anyway, all I'm saying is that retail arbitrage is a great thing. It's definitely not as easy as it used to be. It definitely can be learned. For the people that are willing to go through the hoops and do all this stuff, you're going to be able to crush. But for those people just wanting to get into this, or, wanting to get into like a real viable business, this, retail arbitrage has become less. Man, that's really like, I wasn't planning on even talking about it like that, but it's become quite a bit harder to do just retail arbitrage. But there are ways to do it, right? There are also, beyond that, before that part, there's the books, which have continued to sell, and people are still crushing on books, which I'm super glad to see, and also just used things from like thrift stores and garage sales, etc. So those things are too. But the problem with both of those, with retail arbitrage and with the thrift and the books, is that it's way harder to scale unless you're doing bulk in books. But there are ways to do all that. But those things, like if you're looking like, I want to get into a business and I want it to scale, that is going to be a tough part. And the other thing, with Amazon, it's always their customer, no matter what technique you try to use. It's always Amazon's customer. So that's one thing to think about as well. Like when you're going into a business or doing business, is the more control you can have, the best. And there are some ways to sell online on Amazon and still gain control and have control and have the customers be yours, even though they're on Amazon's platform. But the next thing I would say is that, wholesale would be the next best thing. If you get into wholesale, you're buying direct from the manufacturer, and you're getting the products, and you can get a ton of product at one time. You can get it for a low price. The only thing with that is that you're still fighting with the other people that are sellers, unless you can get a contract with the manufacturer saying that you're exclusively going to sell on Amazon for them, that you're the only seller. Then you don't have any problems with any other sellers. But the great thing about wholesale is that you have these businesses a lot of times that are already out there marketing their product. They're out there, they've got a following. You can get a ton of it at a time. So you just are watching your numbers and sending things in. And so you control that, and it's easier. Like once you start finding the products, then you can just start, it's just a chess game, right? Like make sure your stuff doesn't run out. And so wholesale is another great one. And by the way, I'm going to have some links or a list for some of these as well for any of the topics that I'm talking about. So with books, with retail arbitrage, you can go to DollarMoves.com/retail arbitrage, and that will, I'll have a list there that you can join for if you want to learn any information that I come across with that. Same thing with books /books. And with wholesale, I've already got that one set up. It's DollarMoves.com/wholesale. That way I'll let you know anytime there are any new information, any new tools, any new courses that are coming out, free trainings that are about wholesale. You can find it there. So DollarMoves.com/wholesale. But wholesale would be the next one, the step up from retail arbitrage. And it's great because you can scale that. That's such a huge thing to be able to go, okay, I can scale it. You're not having to go from store to store to store or run a bunch of people doing that. You do your product research. You contact the manufacturers, you get the okay, and then you have a contract with them, and then you're able to go ahead and start selling that product over and over and over again. Just rinse and repeat, right? So that's another one, and that's a great one, and that's more like a business, but again, you're still building someone else's business. You're always, in any of these techniques that I'm talking about, you're always building Amazon's business. No matter what, you're building Amazon's business. But that's great because you are able to use their platform to ship everything out, to not have to deal with the customer complaints and things like that. So it's super cool, but you're always building, no matter what, in any of these schemes that I'm talking about, any of these techniques, you're always going to be building Amazon's business. But with the wholesaling, you're not just building your own business or brand or whatever, because it's not your brand. You're building the other company's business for them, which is fine. It's a great give and take because you guys both win, right? It's win-win. So wholesale is a great one. The next one, which I think is probably the best, as far as you have the most control, you It's your product. You can contact customers. You can have contact with your customers, and that's private label. If you can get into private label the right way, find a great product. And what private label is that's just finding places that will create a product for you in a certain way that you want. You're in control of everything. You're in control of the product. You're in control of the packaging. You're in control of it all. And then you purchase it. A lot of people buy in China. You can buy in US. There's different places as well. And again, if you're interested in this stuff, there's a free training. When this video goes out, it's only for a little bit longer. It's been awesome stuff by Andy Slamans and his partner Liron. Like, they have a killer free information that it goes to a course, but you don't have to get the course. And like, I just sat and watched, I think it was like an hour and a half the other day of them giving free information with stuff that was like, have you ever wanted to just send people to your listing only and not show sponsored, not show anyone else, not any other sellers on it, not show any sponsored sellers on top of that? Like, it's send them a link to only your product that you're selling. Have you ever had friends and family who had to buy from you, and you're like, yeah, well, it's kind of hard if you go to Amazon and you find it, blah, blah. They show you exactly how to do it in their free training. Like, that's just one little snippet. But if you go to dollarmoves.com/private label and sign up there, actually, that'll take you to the free training as of now. And then otherwise, it's just going to be an opt-in for the list for anytime I come across any other stuff. But the cool thing about private label is that you find the product, you do the research, you find the product. You can scale it as big as you want, as long as you stay ahead of, your sales. You can continue to scale that. You can have on your packaging and in your packaging ways to have control of the customers, to make them your own and to get them in an email newsletter or, to gain their email. So basically, yeah, you're helping Amazon build their business, but now they're helping you build your business as well. Since the products are yours, you have all the leverage. You can sell your products online. Some people sell them like in big stores because they're their products. They're an actual product that you can sell anywhere. You can have a Shopify store, your own website, however you want to do it. It's your product. You can sell it anywhere and you have full control over it. So, private label is a great one because, listen, I know we're like 12, almost 13 minutes here, but I've been, ever since probably 2 or 3 years ago, concerned about losing my Amazon business for no fault of my own, but just for the fact that I've seen Amazon just go boom, 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 boom with people, and then people, they lose their Amazon account. Often they get it back. The ones that are good, the people that I've known have got it back. But there's that time where it's like, you're closed down. So it's a great thing if you have a private label product where you have built up your product. It's your brand, and you can sell it wherever you want. You can be selling it in other places as well. So if the spigot for Amazon gets turned off because they decide for some reason you shouldn't be selling there, or some fraudulent sellers, what do they call it, flag bomb you or whatever, it's not going to affect you so much because you have ultimate control. Amazon is great. I love Amazon. I've seen a ton of people make so much money from Amazon and selling on Amazon, and it's still an awesome platform. All the ways I just talked about are definitely that you can, I know people making millions of dollars in every single one of those, like millions per year. So it can be done. It can absolutely be done. It's not as easy, and I think those people that stick with it are going to make the most money, and they're going to, the people, when things get harder, the people that are looking for the low-hanging fruit, they tend to fall away. And the people who stick around, then they're the ones left there, and there's no one else. And that's why with retail arbitrage, if you do liquidation stuff, then you can go there. You can get the products that everyone else was fighting for. All the retail arb people were fighting for back in the day when it was first put out. And you can get this product that's been, maybe not out on the shelves for 6 months to a year, and get it. They're not making any more of it. Like, that's another great place, is liquidation for retail arbitrage. So there's definitely different places. the people who stick with it in anything in life are going to be the ones who win, because so many people want it easy and they don't want to do the work, and they'll fall away and it'll leave opportunity for everyone else. But just think about, like, as you're going through with your Amazon business, what will give me the most control? What will allow me to do the most, to scale my business the fastest and the biggest? And then look at that as you're going along. I was just thinking about that this year, because as far as retail arbitrage goes, it just seems to be getting harder and harder. And who's to say at some point, because listen, okay, here's the thing, right? I've always tried to be a positive person in all my videos, but at some point, there's not going to be very many stores left. We're already starting to get there, where a lot of stores are going away. A lot of the places where you're purchasing your stuff for Amazon is going away. And at some point, Amazon's going to be dealing directly with these different producers, these different brands, and they're not really going to need so many retail arbitrage people. It's not like, I don't think they'll ever push them away, but I just think they'll be like, well, I don't care, unless they can't keep up with production, which this last Q4, I noticed that a lot of things where I would expect them to have sold out Amazon in years past. You know, you can watch Amazon and they'll sell out, and then all of a sudden the price goes up. You can make that money. It's bam, 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 bam. All the third-party sellers are super happy. And I didn't see a lot of that this year. Did you see a lot of that this year, where Amazon sold out of a lot of stuff? This year it seemed like they were more prepared than ever before. So again, you guys, I just wanted to talk with you about, you know, the different ways to do Amazon, and for you to think about going into the future how you want to do it. Like I said, I'll keep pushing out the content with you, giving you the information. I would recommend, like, do retail arbitrage while you need to make that money and, you know, start racking the money up. But when you're ready to step up to the next things, to wholesale and to private label, and again, DollarMoves.com/wholesale or /private label, I'll have that information for you there. And again, the private label one right now is super killer that Andy and them are doing. It's only a few more days left, so I hate to even say it in this video, because if you watch this down the road, it's not going to be available. So anyway, you guys, yeah, Amazon's a killer opportunity. You just got to be ready and know, like, what you want to do with your business, and decide on the different techniques and different ways that you can sell on Amazon, and what fits what your outcome is, which technique fits it the most, right? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like what you saw, please go ahead and thumbs up. Positive comments down below. I almost did a thumbs down, which would have been a really terrible. Don't do that. Positive comments down below. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. You can go to DollarMoves.com, sign up for the email newsletter, and I will contact you anytime I put out any new videos, or if I come across something that I think can benefit you. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know below what you think, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.